Welcome to the Stay Ready Real Estate Podcast, where we stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I'm your host, Emeka, and in each episode, I'll be breaking down real estate topics to help you find and lock in your first deal. This podcast is all about building wealth through real estate, and the best part, you don't need a lot of money to get started. So let's jump right into it. What's going on? It's your boy, Emeka, your host, and today what we're going to talk about is why people don't get in real estate. And for my real estate investors who love real estate, this might not be the best podcast because what I'm going to talk about is how failing is the reason why people don't get into it. When I say by failing, people who hear the horror stories basically just hear the stories of people who have failed, who did not do a deal that great, who had that bad experience, who lost all this money. It's a down market right now, generally speaking, and across multiple markets, especially in the Sun Belt. And people are foreclosing left and right. People are failing. Let's just call it what it is. People are failing. And for every failure, there's usually 10, 20, 30, 50 more success stories. A hot topic right now is Brandon Turner. Brandon Turner is a podcaster, real estate investor, someone who started the Bigger Pockets podcast and made Bigger Pockets what it is. And he lost 15 million of people's cash. 15 million of people's cash. Some people did not get their money back. And he's failing publicly, right? Why is that important? He's failing publicly because not only did, the cat get out the bag, hopefully that's the right saying, but, other people, these investors who lost their money, they were telling people that, I have Facebook friends who had friends who were in the deal. I have Facebook friends who were in his deal. And not only did they start saying it, he basically had to come out and say, hey, I failed, right? And he didn't say that exactly, but he went on an interview with, I think, either Pace Morby, Ryan Pineda, I don't know, Ryan Pineda, I have no idea, I didn't watch the interview, but I did read the post, and basically he got in a deal. It was really good, got in a low interest rate, the interest rate hiked, and they couldn't turn from it. There's just a bunch of things going on all at once where he couldn't make up the deal. And he was just a capital raiser. He was just a capital raiser. He wasn't the one that was actually operating the deal, to my understanding. But anyway, he did a multifamily syndication. Now, because of that failure, I guarantee you that there's going to be some people out there who will not do another deal, who will not do another real estate deal in general, who will not do a multifamily deal, who will not do a syndication, right? And that is the reason that a lot of people won't get into real estate. And that is what I mean by failing. Because those people who had that bad experience, they're going to be the ones who are going to tell everyone else and their kids and their kids' kids and their kids' friends and their kids' parents that this happened. And that failure is going to be, it's going to be too big for them to fathom. They're never going to get into the deal again. And now they're going to scare the people who might be interested in building wealth for their future and achieving financial freedom, right? And we need to we need to understand that in real estate, if you don't fail, you're probably doing something just absolutely great. And you might have the secret sauce, the secret weapon. You might have all, like, everything that anyone needs to know, right? Because every successful person that I know who's in real estate, who's wealthy, who's made all the money, they have all had that one or two deals where it felt like the sky was falling, right? I'm in a deal that it feels like the sky is falling, but I'm going to be okay. If you follow me on YouTube, you see that you see that I am very transparent and very candid. You get a peek under the hood. It is not all sunshines and daisies, but it will be okay. Money will be made. Sometimes it won't be as much as you like. Sometimes you may actually lose money. But I always argue with everyone in saying that most things that are worth it are hard. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. And most things that are worth doing are not easy. And it's pretty much that simple. And real estate fits in that category. People who are willing to fail in public and share with these, share their stories about what happened, but not only what happened, what they could have done to prevent it and what they would do differently next time. I think that's the key, because the uncle who got in a real estate deal, who was getting those calls at 3 a.m. about a plumbing issue, that might have been real, but that is not a reason to not invest in real estate. That is not a valid reason, right? If you don't have money, that is a reason, but you can find money or you can save. If you can't save right now, there will be a time that you can save, because if you can't save, then there's a bigger issue. It's not real estate. But let me rephrase, every single successful person I know who has gone through multiple cycles, basically meaning that they've been through the 08s and all the cycles before, the down markets before then. Every single person I know has had a bad deal, has had a failure. And I am saying failure intentionally, but when I say failure, it just replace failure for lessons. They're lessons. Because it's only a failure if you quit. If you quit, then that is no good. I'm not calling you a failure. I'm calling the deal itself maybe a failure. But what I am saying is you gave up. You gave up, and you cannot give up in real estate, because crap's going to happen. It's supposed to happen, right? You're not supposed to know everything all the time unless you can tell the future. No one can tell the future. No one knows what the interest rates are going to be in the future. No one knows what the economy is going to be like. No one knows if the housing market is just going to crash at any moment. The point I'm making is no one knows, right? If someone guesses it, which it will be, even if it's an educated guess from the smartest economist in the world, or Warren, like, no one truly knows, because every cycle is different. But whenever you see people who are only having successful deals, whenever you're online seeing people raise all this money, doing all these deals, and they're telling you that everything is great, and they're trying to tell you that there's only upside, then have a red flag. Because the reality is, I'm in a mastermind. I know a lot of people. I'm in it myself. I'm doing my own deals. I've done single family flips. I've done single family rentals. I've done short term rentals with Airbnb. I've done pad split, rent by the room. I've done the syndications. So I've done a lot of stuff, and I understand that. Number one, it's not easy. Number two, you might lose some sleep sometimes. And if you're losing sleep, you need to change something different, because real estate is not here for stress. But the purpose of this podcast is for you to understand that failures will happen, lessons will be learned, but life will be okay. And you must learn from those lessons in order for you to be successful. When it comes to, let's just cross out real estate for the next 2 minutes, right? When it comes to building a successful business, there has to be failures on the way. There has to be lessons on the way, or else you're not learning, because no one likes a know-it-all, number one. So the know-it-alls typically don't know it all. And the more you know and the more you learn is the more you realize you don't know. There's always room in your head. There's always capacity for you to learn more. So real estate is great. Real estate is a way to build a future. There's so many different reasons that I can go in all day about how great real estate is. There's the tax benefits. You get paid 3 ways. You can use the cash sooner, right? It is a longer transaction than stocks, because with stocks you can just click a button and buy. But with real estate, it's here forever. It won't get taken by robots. There is a housing shortage. There's always someone who wants a roof over their head in order to sleep comfortably at night, to provide their families, to bring friends over, to build memories. In real estate, that's where someone's going to open up a letter and see they got accepted to Harvard or Yale or Washburn University. In real estate, that's where someone's going to raise their family and see their kids walk for the first time ever. In real estate, that's where they're going to see or watch their parents grow old and comfortably and be relaxed. In real estate, that's where someone's going to, get a cut on their finger and have, their wife or their husband or their mom, dad, or even their son or daughter take care of them, and they're going to remember that moment forever. Real estate is a place that brings families together, and that's why it's not going anywhere, and that's why it's a great investment, and that is why I firmly believe that there is no better investment than real estate, because it is something that is going to drive the economy. The government loves investors. The government loves homeowners because our economy is really built on real estate. And real estate, it's always going to be here. Real estate provides jobs for so many people. Title companies, and then also title companies, realtors, contractors, roofers, electricians, HVAC companies, heating, and the other thing to think about is with this AI boom, right? The skilled trades such as the electricians, the roofers, the heating and cooling. I don't know what that term is. HVAC people, mechanical people. Those are trades that can't really get taken up by AI. So with real estate, there's always going to be a reoccurring need for that. That's going to drive some economy, local or broader. So my tangent is over. Fail in public. Let people know what's going on. If you're going to show your successes, you got to show your failures. But not only whenever you show your failures, you got to make sure you tell the lessons with those failures, because people can learn from those lessons and be better for their own deals. And it's always going to make you better for your next deal, right? So don't let someone else's horror story stop you from investing in your future and in your family, because real estate is here to stay forever, and there will not be a better investment like it. Till next time. See ya. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss when a new one drops. And if you're loving this content, come join me over on YouTube. My link is down below in the comments. I take you behind the scenes of my real life as a real estate investor. You get to see inside my flips, my rentals. You get to see the full journey of me growing from basically 33 units to 100 units, which is the goal I'm shooting for. No highlight reels, no sugarcoating, just a real thing. See you next week.